Testing 1 2 3 4 5 6. Testing microphone 1 2 3 4 5 6. Microphone test 1 2 3 4 5 6. Testing microphone 1 2 3 4 5 6. I now see that I have a microphone that is working. Testing microphone 1 2 3 4 5 6. Microphone test is good. Can you just confirm that you can hear me nicely? That is absolutely excellent. Okay, good evening. My name is Andrew Whitfield and I'm from doing the microphone test once again. Testing 1 2 3 4 5 6. Can you hear me clearly? I have a short delay on the microphone. Do, 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 do. Testing 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is the microphone test. Testing 1 2 3 4 5 6. Hello and good evening, everybody. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Hello and good evening, everybody. My name is Andrew Whitfield from How to Sell Online. And today we're going to have a look at how to increase the eBay online sales, finding new customers in Europe and worldwide. Now, as you will have seen from the various videos and possibly from a lot of things that are going on in the world at the moment, that some people are saying their UK sales are dropping. Other people are saying their UK sales are stable and increasing. Other people are saying that their international sales are increasing. And we have a lot of other people who are saying, we cannot send things internationally because it doesn't work. Well, I'm sorry, but you can send things internationally and it does work. That I can absolutely guarantee you without any problem whatsoever. International is the way to go. If you are currently selling on eBay, Amazon, or any of the other platforms, including your own website, you need to be looking at the international market, because the UK market is now being hit with a lot of people sending product into ourselves in the UK. So we've got a lot of product coming in from Europe. We've got a lot of product coming in from directly from China, as most of you will already know. We've got a lot of product coming in from the United States. Now, how are they doing this? Well, it's quite simple, and we're going to go through that during this webinar. What you need to be doing, though, is you need to be looking at the international market. So let's have a look at some stats here that have come through from various sources. So according to Royal Mail, the confidence in UK online retailers, okay, this will be the bigger boys that are working with Royal Mail, 2/3 are saying that they're going to increase sales in 2015. Okay, now those are the people that are going places. So the people that are going backwards, you actually need to be going forwards and looking where you need to go. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, so we've got a lot of opportunity there to grow on international markets. Now, to do this, you actually need to be looking at the types of products you're selling, and you need to look at your products, and are they products that are required on the European or the international market? If you haven't done your research, you are not going to know that. If you have done your research, you will know. Now, you may have to repackage some of your products. That's a different story, and that's something we can talk about. You may have to do other things with your products as well, as in translate them into French, German, Spanish, whatever it may be, so that you can actually have those products out there. Now, if you're going to do a translation, don't worry about it. That's fairly simple and straightforward. Get somebody to do the translation for you. And when they do it, get the bulk of it done. The new bits, changing titles and things like that, you can do those. You can do those using various online tools. But the main bits, you need to have them done professionally. Okay. So there is a lot of international growth. And in the US is going to be hitting the UK very, very soon and very, very hard. And there's a reason for that, which we're going to come on to in a minute. But what you need to be looking at is what you do next. And let's just get some ideas here. So you'll be able to see that the percentage of growth by country for 2015 is pretty good. So 2014 figures are in blue, 2015 are the projected figures in red. So we're going to go from 11.6 to 13.5% market share of online sales. Pretty good. So Germany is going to go up by 1.6% or thereabouts. Every country is increasing ever so slightly. But isn't that good? And even look at some of these countries down here. These are the emerging countries. And as many of you know, I spend a lot of my time out in France. I have a property over here which I tend to work from, and I'm talking to you from that property right now. So I get to see what is happening in Europe. And France is a growing market for us, and we need to be targeting it. And not only France, we need to be targeting Spain. We need to be targeting Italy. And Poland is massive. Poland is a massive market, and that is going to grow very, very, very quickly. Germany is a very mature market, but there is still plenty of room in there. So you need to be looking where you are going to be selling products and goods over the next 12 months. And especially if you're looking at seasonal spikes. So if you're looking at Christmas, and I'm going to use Christmas as a real example, because in one country they celebrate Christmas the way they do in the UK and in America, and in France they celebrate it slightly differently. So they do in Italy, etc., etc. So you also need to have a look at where their seasonal spikes are in sales. You'll all know where the seasonal spikes are in the UK, you're used to that, but you need to look at where the other seasonal spikes are in sales in the other countries you're looking at, especially international countries. And if you're not going to look at these international countries, then you're only going to get a small increase in business in the UK. And if you're pretty much standing still and you haven't done a competitor analysis to see who you're competing against, who is coming up and taking over and selling the same or similar products to you at different prices, if you're not analyzing that, you are going to be going backwards and losing business. So you need to be extremely up on your game, and you need to be looking hard at what you're selling and where you're selling. And you might have to make some difficult decisions. You may have to remove certain lines. I have had to do this many times. Go to some wholesalers and some suppliers and say, not dealing with you anymore, folks. The competition is too great. I cannot make any margin anymore. And if that is the case, it's a hard decision and it's got to be made. And it is one that you have to make and make some changes in direction. If that is what is required, that is what you've got to do, because you could be talking about your survival. The number of people that I am seeing on the brink of bankruptcy at the moment is high, and that is because they are not adapting and looking at the market, the competition, and the market share. So, of course, the question is, where do you go to sell your products? Well, that is really quite simple. You've got a lot of choice, and we're looking pretty much at eBay tonight, and we're concentrating purely on eBay. Now, what you've got to do is make sure that your eBay account is running as it should. Now, this might be a bit of old news for some of you, but bear with me here because there may be some people on the call where this is not old news and it's new news for them. You've got three different types of shops on eBay. Now, if you're only just trading on eBay and you haven't actually created a shop, then you seriously need to look at doing so and creating a business that is running through an eBay shop. So there's three types of shop. You need to go and choose one of the three. Depending on the levels that you've got of feedback and scores and various other things will depend on what shop you're allowed to trade with. So basic shop is your first one. If you're under 12 months old, you've got to 10 pieces of feedback, etc., etc. You've got to have something there. And of course, you've got to have some PayPal verification. Featured shop is probably one of the most popular ones. Anchored shop is certainly one of the ones that I've been using in the past and would use again in the future. The Anchor shop is quite expensive on a monthly fee unless you're doing the turnover. If you're doing the turnover or you have high profit margins, and products, then the Anchor shop is the better one to go. You get a better deal on that. Now, what you've got to remember is if you do not meet all your customer service requirements and everything from eBay, you will lose potentially those shops, as they will look at closing you down. So if you're in it just to make a quick buck and you don't really care about the customer, then I would suggest that you get out of it now, because you won't last long. If you're there to make a difference and you're going to have to adopt and adapt to PayPal, eBay, European, UK, whatever the trading laws are, you're going to have to let your business run like that, regardless of whether you agree or disagree with them. Those are the rules that you've got. Those are the rules that you're going to have to work to. So you need to make sure that you are compliant with those and happy to be compliant with those. Now, the next thing, of course, is where do you sell? Well, if you're selling from ebay.co.uk, then you can sell in Ireland, Italy, basically everybody that you're looking at here, Germany, and you can also look at selling on Australia. Australia, obviously, you're going to have a brand new platform and a new site, because you will set up the eBay account with ebay.com.au. So your shop will be in Australia, but all of your transactions and everything will show on your UK site. So you've got plenty to choose from ebay.co.uk. If you're registered in the UK, you can quite easily go out to a lot of these other sites. Now, a lot of people think that if they're in .co.uk, that they are okay. They can have FR for France, IE for Ireland, NL for Netherlands, etc., etc., etc. And they don't need to worry about .com. Unfortunately, I'm going to tell you now, if you're on ebay.co.uk and you are going to sell internationally and you want international clients, you have got to be on ebay.com as well. ebay.com will allow you to go to an extra 207 countries worldwide. So think about this from the funnel type effect. One moment you're selling 100 units to the UK marketplace, 63 million people in the UK, and you drill that down to households and number of buying peoples, that might mean that your target audience goes from 63 million to 600,000, and then your target more audience might just drop a little bit further when you actually start doing your competitor analysis and your demographic analysis, and you might find that you've only got 6,000 customers for your product, or you may find you've only got 300 people that would actually buy your product. So you've got to look at how the funnel works from the top. But if you go and you start broadening your horizons and you go to the whole of Europe, then you're going to find that you have got an extremely good market because you are increasing your marketplace. Therefore, this is where you need to look at language translation. Now, living in France, I can tell you now that lots of people speak English and lots of young people have a good grasp of English, and English is taught in a lot of the schools. But are they going to be searching ebay.fr in English or in French? French, I can tell you now. Just go and have a look. Type in ebay.fr to Google. Go and have a look at that website, and you will see that most things are in French. So your products need to be in French so that you can sell them. So you need to have the proper translation done. Now, eBay have got a lot of tools that you can use, and they will do a lot of the translation for you to get you started. So all you need to do is give eBay customer service support team a ring, have a look for international selling on the eBay website, and you will get some pointers. And if your business is good, there is a lot of help out there from eBay to look at translating your products from one language to another so that you can get them online and get selling, because they want you selling. The more you sell, the more money eBay makes. Simple as that. And they want their cut. Going back to the United States, if you are going to sell on eBay, you need to be on the United States, the US platform, because they do give you those other 207 countries worldwide. So again, you need to be looking at that. You need to be getting that exposure. And that way, you've got a damn good chance of selling your product. Now then, one of the big questions that we get, and we will look at in a little while, is how do I actually get my products out there? How do I get them to the customer? Well, there's two ways of doing it. You send them from the UK and you pay the international postage, or you send quantities of them out to certain fulfillment houses and they send them out for you. Now, the preferred route is to send them out to fulfillment houses and let them do the work. You are going to have some cost in the beginning because you are going to have to send those products out to the warehouses. So you're going to have to make sure that they're barcoded correctly. They've got SKU codes on them correctly. They've got the relevant details that those people require in those fulfillment houses. Myself, my own personal choice is to use Amazon fulfillment houses wherever I can. And obviously, if I'm sending into the US, eBay have their own fulfillment service in the US as well, and you can use those. So it becomes very cost effective because you are using the international postage system to get your products out to a warehouse that you're paying a little bit of storage for. You're paying a pick and pack fee, but that warehouse is sending them out through the local trucks and local service, delivery service, courier service, postal service, and of course, you are paying that country's rate for the product. So there is a potential massive saving for you. So you need to look at that and look at that seriously. So for me, I would be sending stuff if I was having things sold in the UK. They would be going to amazon.co.uk, FBA, fulfillment service, regardless of the fact that you get charged a premium by Amazon for sending it for a third party website, eBay, play.com, your own website, or anybody else. It is still worth doing it when you do the maths. And especially for me, where 64% of my sales were on Amazon and 36% from eBay, I would then work out my free post on those ratios. 64% going, 36% going to eBay and other platforms. Therefore, I would work out the mean average of the cost of the postage, add it into my selling price so that I could make it free post. Now, if you're going to sell things into Europe, I would do something very similar. It would either go to Amazon Fulfillment in the UK, add an extra day, and allow them to send it out to whichever country it is, or and it's an extra day delivery, or I would have it sent to European warehouses accordingly, depending if I'm targeting certain countries. And again, with Australia and with the States, same thing there. My product would be going out there. So if you are really clever and you are doing your own branded products, and if you haven't white labeled and you're not into own branding, that's something else that we can go into in great depth another call, or you can email me directly and we'll get in a conversation about that. And you can then have your products being shipped direct from your manufacturer, whether it's China, whether it's the UK, whether it's Europe, straight to the fulfillment house and have it booked in straight away there. And that way, of course, you're not even touching your product. Your product is coming straight to the fulfillment house and going straight out to the customer. So it cuts down a lot of the hassle. Again, you might have to put plans and implementation in place to actually do that. That is fine. That is something else during the webinars that we will be talking about. Of course, the other thing you've then got to decide is, you know, are you selling on multi-platforms? And this isn't about multi-platform, so I'm literally just touching on this. If you're already on eBay and you're on Amazon and you're on your own website and you're on play.com and you're on one of the many other sites, which we're going to have a look at in a minute, how can you do that? Well, the answer to that is quite simple. There are plenty of software tools out there that will create one order sheet for you every day so you can send that off to your fulfillment service. So there are integrated software there available to you. So if you're selling on eBay, you're selling on Amazon, you're selling on your own website, you're selling on play.com and any of the others, Facebook, places like that, then you can have all of that data sucked in to one system so that you can then just create the relevant documentation to send in the format required by the fulfillment house. Now, isn't that fantastic? This is taking some of your businesses to another level. Some of you will not be at this level yet. Either is absolutely fine. There is no problem with either. But if you're not at that level yet, then obviously we need to be looking at how we work towards that level with you. If you are at that level, or you're in that level and you need to make the changes, then we possibly need to pull you out of the chaos you've got now to put you into the new practices. And of course, you might be using things like social media to drive traffic to your own websites, whether you're using Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Google, it goes on and on and on and on. So wherever you're marketing your product, and if you're not using social media, which is a totally separate topic again, which we go into in great detail on one of the other webinars, then you need to be looking at social media as a way to increase your sales and your business through your platforms. And of course, you might be saying, well, what other platforms are there out there that I could be considering? Well, here's just a few for you. So you've got all of these here, and they're all in different countries, different places, and there'll be a few, obviously, that you will have already heard of. So you'll have places like in the UK, you've got Gumtree. So most of you will have heard of that, and that is owned by eBay anyway. So there's lots of other places out there that you can be selling your product. Etsy, not on the high street, etc., etc. Some of them have terms and conditions you have to meet. If you meet those terms and conditions, absolutely fantastic. At least then you can go and use those platforms and sell that product to whoever is on those platforms. So there are plenty of platforms for you to consider, and I would look at some of those. And if you want those details on the replay, you'll be able to get it. Or if you're part of our 7-module training course or one of the membership sites, you will have this information as well. So where do you go if you want to sell to Europe? Well, if you don't want to just do it through eBay, play.com is a really good one. They've got quite a good reach in Europe. You can list on there quite easily. They do need barcodes and things like that. Play like to have everything as free post. That is one of their conditions as such of working with them. And there are advantages and disadvantages. The one disadvantage with play.com is you give them the information to upload onto their server. And once they've uploaded that information, basically they own it. So you cannot have it back. You cannot delist a product. You cannot take it away. It then belongs to play.com. So think about that one. But if you're white labeling and your own branding products, which is the best way to go now, then you will be fine because you'll have no competition. And then let's have a quick look at Amazon. If you want to sell on Amazon, things that you need to consider. With Amazon, obviously, you've got a good reach right throughout the world, different places. So you can use Amazon Fulfillment, European and worldwide. They will do everything for you wherever you want it to go, whether it's the USA, whether it's Taiwan, whether it's Luxembourg, Germany, Australia, India. Whilst I was over in Nepal recently, Amazon were advertising on Nepali television on the main channels all of the time. There were Amazon adverts for purchasing product targeted at the audience. And it was brilliant to see it. They are really making a hard hitting advertising campaign in Asia. So that is one place that you need to be looking. Do your products meet Amazon requirements to be sold in Asia? If they do, are you selling them there? If you're not, why not? And then, of course, there's other ways that you can be selling things as well. But what you have to remember with Amazon is .co.uk and .com are two separate platforms. They aren't integrated. So if you've got a .co.uk account, you need a .com account as well, so that you can upload your products on both. And then you're getting a better worldwide reach. And you'll find the postage is going to work out far better if you are using their fulfillment services as well. So, what do you need to consider if you are going to expand worldwide? Well, first of all, how are you purchasing your product? Are you purchasing them directly from the manufacturer? This is where you need to be in your supply chain. You need to be as close as you can to the source of the product. So, you need to understand so that you can compete, because you are in a very, very competitive environment and you do need to compete in this environment. You need to compete really, really hard. So one of the things that you've got to do is consider who else is in there with you and how close are they and how good is their buying power. If you're white labeling, not quite such a problem, except if you're white labeling the same product as 10 other people who are white labeling it, you've still got competition because you're flooding the market with just different packages. Purchasing directly from the manufacturer, great. If you're not purchasing direct, where are you here? Are you buying from an import agent, a distributor, a commissioned agent, employed company representative, a main wholesaler, a secondary wholesaler, a main dealer, an authorized dealer, a third party outlet, or a retail trader? Each one of these here, if they are in your supply chain, if you are down here and you're going through everybody here, they're all going to be adding some profit onto the bottom line. So you need to be as close to the manufacturer as possible. Let's just have a quick look at what I mean by that. So let's say you've got a manufacturer who's producing a product at 9. It could be dollars, it could be euros, it could be sterling, it can be any currency you want. So it's the currency is the price is 9. Your import agent is putting their profit on it, so it's now gone up to 14.40. Let's say there's a distributor involved and they're putting 15% markup on it. So now you're on 16.56. Then you've got your commissioned agent. Perhaps he's having 20%, so you're on 19.87. Employed company representative, etc., etc. You can go through all of this, and don't forget there's going to be some taxation. So you might be selling it at £63. So that product that costs £9 might be selling at 63.88. What profit are you making? If you're making the profit here, and you're making a small profit based on that, and you're happy with that, absolutely brilliant. But how good would it be to get as close to this price as you possibly can, especially if you can still sell it at this price? Don't forget, every link in the chain that you cut out of your supply chain means more profit to you. So if you can go direct to the manufacturer, happy days. You're going to make lots of money, especially if it's a product you know sells well. If you cannot get that close, but you can get in within one or two rungs of the manufacturer. If the manufacturer says, no, I won't deal with you, you have to deal with one of our import agents, registered distributors, then get as close to them as possible, regardless of any relationships that you may have out here. So if you've been dealing with a wholesaler, the wholesaler will be dealing with somebody down here, and he'll be 3 or 4 away from the manufacturer. So you're paying a lot of profit, or you're losing a lot of potential money. And this is where white labeling comes in, because you could then be going directly to a manufacturer and saying, that's the product that I want, and I want it under my own brand, please. And they might turn around and say, yes, you can have it at 9. So you would be then buying it at 9, put your own brand on it, put it out at 63. You're making good money. You might even want to give people a discount and make it 49.97 or something like that. You can make good margin here, and that is what you need to be looking at, folks. You need to be looking at your margin and where you can buy your products at the best possible price. So when dealing with these, you've got questions that you need to be asking. So what is the minimum order quantity, MOQ, minimum order quantity, that the manufacturer will take to deal direct? And what is the discounts that you're going to get? How much discount, whenever you're dealing with somebody, you're talking about price, if they say to you it's going to cost 10, then what you've got to do is say, okay, at what price can at what quantity can I get it for 7? And they're going to come back with an answer. It may not be an answer you want. It may be an answer that is really, really nice. They might say you've got to buy 10,000 units, which is possibly impractical. Or it maybe they turn around and say, well, you wanted 100 units, you'd have to buy 500. That may be possible, depending on your forecasted number of sales every week, of course. And then, what is the largest negotiated discount price ever given? This is a totally separate question, because what you're asking here is not what price can you get for quantity. What you're asking is, what is the lowest you have ever sold it at? So it may be you're looking to see if any of the big retailers have gone direct, and if some of the big retailers have gone direct, what price have they bought it at? So if you're in UK, what price has Tesco's bought it at? What price has Walmart bought it at? What discounts did they get? And what would you have to do to compete with that? So these are big questions you need to be asking these people when you're talking to them. And also, would you white label? If you're buying a branded item, or an item that is already out there with a good brand, can you white label it? Can you go to that manufacturer and find out what the minimum order quantity is for you to have it with your own brand on? Now, some manufacturers won't make for you with a white label. And if they won't make it for you with a white label, there is probably somebody else that will make something very similar for you with a white label. And on that basis, you want to be looking at your white labeled opportunities. And who else is selling in the wholesale market that sells a product? So what other wholesalers are out there? Again, let's just go back one to this here. Who else is selling this? Where is your competition? What other wholesalers, representatives, commissioned agents, distributors are selling it? And who are they selling it to? Who is their target market? You need to know that. And especially if you're going to sell your products internationally, which is where you should be, you need to know what other international buyers are out there. Who is buying it in Australia? Who is buying it in America? Who are they dealing with? Because one of the things that you will find whenever you're dealing with a Chinese manufacturer, for argument's sake, they're not only selling to the UK, they are selling that product to anywhere in the world. It could be Russia, it could be Australia, it could be Greece, it could be Europe, it could be Canada, it could be Iceland, anywhere. They're going to be selling those products to other people as well, not just to the UK. So your international market, you need to do your competitive analysis, which is something we've gone through in the past. I'm sure we'll go through again. You need to understand how to find your competitors, what your competitors are doing, and what prices are they selling them at? What is the currency exchange? What taxation issues have you got? Because if you're selling a product from the UK into the USA or from Europe into the USA, you haven't got to worry about VAT because it's an international sale. So does that give you a price advantage? Yes, it does. However, you've obviously got the import duty. If you've got the import duty to consider, what you've then got to do is consider, do you pay the import duty for the customer and take all the hassle away? Or do you ensure the customer pays the import duty and has the hassle of not getting the product quickly enough because of not paying the import duty? Personally, my own recommendation is you take care of everything. You deal with the import duty, you wrap it up in the price. You wrap it up in the price and it is duty free. So you need to find out the duty on the product that you're sending to that country beforehand so that you can ensure that you're giving the customer the very, very best. And that's what people are trying to get to now. That is what the good companies and the good sellers out there are doing, is trying to get to the customer the very, very best deal. So you need to be looking at all of these things here. White labeling is perfect. And if you can get a brand and you get a brand expert on it and you can trademark it, trademarking is easy. Copywriting it is easy. You don't have to go to lots of expense to do that. And in some cases, it won't cost you anything. Then you also need to know if your product is going to sell all year round, how you are going to hold stock. Or is it a seasonal product? Is it a summer product? So in the UK and Europe, you're selling it July, August, and September. But then is it a product that you can sell in Australia? Because their summer season is obviously different. Australia and New Zealand, is it a product that you can be selling to the Southern Hemisphere in the Northern Hemisphere's winter? So then, have you got year-round sales opportunities? Are you going to be able to continue to hold stock year-round and hold stock in the relevant fulfillment centers, as we've already spoken about, in the relevant country to take advantage of the seasonal sales? You understand what the delivery lead time is from manufacturer to you or to the fulfillment house. You need to know that if you give them an order, it's going to take them 3 months to deliver it or 3 weeks to deliver it. Because don't forget, they've got to bring in the raw materials. So the manufacturer has a supply chain as well. Whatever product you're selling, you're dealing with that manufacturer. That manufacturer is buying the raw materials from several other people. So one of his supply chain falls down, your stock cannot be produced. because one item is out of stock for him as a manufacturer. So it's not quite as straightforward as just picking up the phone and saying, hey, I want another 300 of those units, please. Can you have them sent to the eBay distribution center in the United States? If he has got one component out of stock and one manufacturer of that component is having some form of problem in getting him the items that he needs, you are out. So you need to understand their supply chain as much as you need to understand your supply chain. It starts to get quite complex, doesn't it? So if you're growing your business and you're coming at it from the point of view where it's been really, really small, this may be so overwhelming to you that you're thinking, I don't want to go there. Believe me, once you've actually done this with one product, one single product, and this is where we will work really closely with you if you want us to, we will work really closely with you on one product so that you understand how the whole process works. Once you've done it once, it then becomes easy because it's not so daunting. You know what is going to be happening next. You know what is going to happen. You know how it is all going to work. So now you know a little bit about the international selling side of things. And don't forget, as I said earlier, if you've got any questions, you've got the chat button on the top right of your page. You can put a question in there and you can send it across. That is there for you. It is enabled, so you can send a message over and I will do my very, very best to actually answer them for you whilst we're on the call. If I can't answer it for you while we're on the call, then obviously what I will do is come back to you with any answer. So any questions on there, pop it into the chat box. Now, I know we have gone through an absolute mountain of detail, and I've got a couple of other things for you. So if you go to your pop-in tab at the top, what I have got here for you is the overview report. That should now come up on screen, and I'm just going to go through that with you. Bear with me 1 second, and it is that one. Let me just drag that across to the screen so that you guys can see it. Okay, this is a report that eBay requested in the United States, and this is something you need to be very, very aware of. I said at the very beginning, we are about, in UK and Europe, we are about to be hit by a lot of people sending product into us. So the number of traders globally is increasing. It may be increasing by tenfold, it may be increasing by 50-fold, it may be increasing by 100%. The number of traders globally is increasing, and it's going to continue to increase. There is still only 63, 64 million people in the UK. You still only have a short, small, targeted group of buyers. But all of a sudden, you've got a lot of competition out there targeting those buyers. So your opportunity of getting a sale is slowly being squeezed by the number of other people that are coming up. And if you haven't got your finger on the pulse, guess what? They have, and you're not going to get the sale. So this happened over in the States, and this document, if you go to your pop-in tab on the right-hand side of your screen up the top here, you'll see the word pop-in, and you will see that front cover, and you'll see a download button. And you can download that report. It will open a separate window on your browser, and that PDF will be there for you. Basically, in a nutshell, this means that the US are about to allow all their traders to trade worldwide with less red tape. Great news for US sellers. And a lot of the US sellers are selling purely on eBay. And a lot of them are moving, obviously, onto Amazon and other platforms as well. So that is something that you need to be very aware of. Now, you don't need to be very scared of it because you need to know about it. But it is something that is happening. It is something that is going on. It is going on now. The barriers come down, and sales are going to be going up, and sales from the States through to Europe are going up and up and up. Now, this is a report that was done some time ago, but it has made that difference. So the competition is hotting up, especially as China is attacking our market as well. China is attacking our market massively. So you need to be aware of all of these people that are saying, here are our products, we want to sell them to you guys in UK and Europe. So we need to be taking the products we're getting and sending them out to other countries. And there is nothing better than made in Britain. If you can get a made in Britain product and send that out to China and other places, then that is absolutely fantastic. You can get increased sales that way. So you need to decide what products you want to actually go out there. So let's go back a little bit to this little graph over here. As you can see, the online sales year on year is increasing. And the forecasts are that it's going to continue to increase in 2015 in all these countries. Now, when you're looking at these margins, they may not look massively big to you, but in actual physical pounds, euros, dollars, they are massive. And not only that, all of the forecasts that have been made so far have been outperformed. And again, as I say, living in a European country, living in France as I do, and mixing with a lot of Europeans, I can see these areas moving very, very quickly. And some of the things that I'm being asked to do over here in France to help the French online retailers means that they are going to catch up extremely quickly, and they're going to overtake people that are standing still. So the companies that are switched on in Germany, UK, and America are doing really, really well online over here. And if you don't catch up with those, you're going to be really left behind because your market is going to keep diminishing, which would be a great, great pity. The other thing that you've obviously got to consider when you're selling into Europe. Now, if you want to download that report or you want to save that across, it's quite heavy reading, but have a look at it. It gives you some hints and tips, and it gives you some ideas of what is actually going on out there. So I'm going to just remove that from the pop-ins now. There we are. That one has gone. And I'm going to give you the, there we are, another one. One of the concerns people have in selling into European countries is VAT. And do you know, I still have people that come to me to say they don't want to register for VAT and they don't want to go over the VAT threshold in the UK, which at time of recording, if I remember right, is 81,000. If you trade over 81,000, you need to register for VAT. And it's not 81,000 in anything other than a total trading year. If you do 81,000 in a month, you need to register for that month. If you do it and it takes the whole year to do it, you need to register in that year so that you're there with the VAT. Don't forget, you have got some money to come back for capital purchases and things like that. So if you've had a lot of purchases, capital equipment, computers, desks, offices, whatever it may be, maybe you've got a good VAT claim to come back in when you first start off. Then, of course, you've got the European VAT. Because you're selling business to consumer in Europe, you need to be charging the VAT if you're VAT registered, and you need to be looking at the VAT thresholds for each country rather, so that you can register the appropriate VAT levy for each particular country. And I'm going to bring you another PDF over. So that has now gone in your pop-ins. You can download that now. It is the 6 VAT tips, and it is a good one. And there you are, Annex 1, 2012. I haven't got an updated version. As far as I'm aware, this still stands. I haven't seen a new updated version from HMRC as yet, but you can see here what the thresholds are for VAT in these countries. If you are going to trade over their thresholds, then you need to be VAT registered in those countries as well. So again, maybe scary if you're just starting out. Don't worry about it, because if you're going to grow to those levels, you are going to have an accounting system and an accounting package that will work. And again, when we talked about integrating stock into a system that will work for you, you can also integrate your sales into a system that will tell you what you are trading in each particular country. So you will know when you hit those thresholds. So if you're selling to a consumer in Europe, you still need to charge your 20% VAT. If you are selling to a consumer internationally, there is no VAT, but there may be duty to pay. So you need to check with the country, as I said earlier, on the duty that has got to be paid. So can you see how complex this whole scenario is? It really is quite a complex scenario. It's a brilliant way to make money. It is brilliant to have business out there and to be doing really, really well out there, but you need to be on your game. You need to be on your game from the legislative point of view for taxation, for the customer service point of view, as we've already discussed, the stock point of view, and whether you are going to have a language change and certain products are going to be sent out to certain countries in that language. If the market is big enough, take my advice here. If the market share is big enough for you to sell enough product in that market, get it translated. You will sell more and it will not cost you as much as you think. And if you need to look at translation, you can contact me. I have plenty of people that know about translation. So if you go back to your pop-ins tab, you can download that 6 VAT tips. That is there for you, not a problem at all. And you can have that with my pleasure. It gives you some ideas. I'm not a VAT expert. I just know that you need to know these things. And if you need proper advice because you're not sure, you need to speak to a firm of accountants that will have an international or European VAT specialist within their practice. If you are struggling for that, come back to me. I have a number of people I can put you in touch with. That is absolutely easy. So, this is almost wrapping up where we are, what it is you need to be looking at. The UK is going to grow in international sales. We are growing. By the same token, we are also being targeted by other countries for international sales. So you need to look at your stock. You need to look at the products that you're selling and decide which products you're going to sell in which particular country. You need to look at Amazon FBA. You need to look at eBay's FBA facilities. You need to decide where you want to operate in the long term in moving forward. It's that simple. Now then, there's two ways that you can work with us if you want to. Then we have got loads and loads of information. Obviously, you can come back to me. That is absolutely fine. You can come back to me at any stage and ask questions, and I will come back to you with the answers. That is not a problem. Obviously, if you want to, you can register with us. So you can go to that website there. I've just sent you a link to our free information website. That is easy enough. You can go there, and there is things in there that will give you the information that you're going to need. So all you need to do there is put in your name, your email address. If you don't want to give us your phone number, that is fine. Just put a few digits in there because we won't contact you. But if you think you are going to have requirements for us to contact you, we will do so. We will not phone you out of the blue. We're not like that. We're not taking your phone number for marketing purposes or anything like that. We are just giving you the opportunity to give your phone number to us so that if you have questions, you can come back to us. We can come back to you rather very quickly because we will find it. And you will be able to get lots and lots of free stuff from our free membership. There's downloads, there's books, there's hints and tips, there's all sorts. Also, of course, if you want to, you can take things a stage further. And I would suggest that if you're going to take things a stage further and you are looking at how to grow your business, start your business, and start putting everything together that we have talked about today. And I'm going to take that particular one away. You can look at that again afterwards. And there is another one there for you you can look at, and that is our training course, that 10-week course, which takes you through step by step. I do it online by video. You've got access to me at all times by email. And if you've got a question and it's something we really need to look at, then obviously I will call you back. It is not a problem. But you can take that 7-module, 10-week course. And what we are doing in that, we are showing you how to get started in your business, how to then move your business to the next level, how to look at integrated software, how to look at the world market, how to look at your demographics, where you should be selling your products, who are the people that are going to buy your products. And we're also looking at your reach, your competitors, who are your competitors, what else are we going to do to move your competitors forward, move you forward against your competitors. We go into white labeling, own branding, all of that. That is all there, and it is done step by step. The videos that are on there will be giving you live demonstrations, so you will be able to walk through. Once you've purchased that package, that is yours for life. You'll be able to go back at any time and look at it. Or if you're bringing on employees, it could be the training tool of choice so that your employees can be trained up on certain aspects, because it goes line by line. And obviously, we update things as things change. And if there are tweaks and changes that are made by eBay, Amazon, Play.com, and other major sites, Facebook or anything like that, there will be a training tip in there. And guess what? You will get a quick email from us to say, this has changed, maybe relevant for you, have a look. And you'll get a 20-30 minute video going through all of the details. If you want to take advantage of that, that is there for you. It's $597. You've got a 10-day look and see policy. If it's not right for you in the first 10 days, then you can tell us and we will obviously give you a full refund. Simple as that. It is an online course, so it is all done electronically, and you have access to myself and my team at all times with questions that you may have. So that just about wraps up our session this evening, and it's been extremely brilliant to be talking to you guys here from France. It's fantastic to see so many of you on the call. Really, really pleased. And the replay will be available to you shortly. My name is Andrew Whitfield. The webinar has gone on for just over an hour, I think it is now. So we need to look at saying thank you very much and goodbye for now. And we look forward to seeing you on the next webinar. Don't forget, any questions, come back to us. Anything that you want, any comments, please come back to us and let us know. You can get in touch with us at the normal places, and my personal email address, I'm just going to type in for you now, andrew@h2so.org. So nice and easy. There we go. That is there for you, andrew@h2so.org. You can send me an email anytime you want, and I will come back to you as soon as I pick it up. Obviously, I don't always reply to emails straight away because I may be on webinars, I may be doing training, I may be working with clients. I work with a lot of clients. And if you want to engage with us even more closely, we have some other packages there where you can come to us, where we have a 3-day fully focused retreat that you come out to us. We will wine you, dine you, and make sure that you are comfortable. It is an all-inclusive retreat that we operate, and that means that we do a very, very deep dive into your business and look at what is really going on. And these retreats are only held a few times a year, and they're in small numbers. There's no more than 4 people on a retreat, or 4 businesses on a retreat at any one time. And you are dealing with me on a one-to-one basis during that retreat. And me and my team are doing a deep dive into where you are now and taking you forward and giving you lots of ways to improve, increase, or change direction, whatever it is you need to do. So that is one way. The other way is to become part of one of our mentorships. And those mentorships means that you, if your business is big enough and you qualify for one, then we will be working directly with you, and we will quite simply create a 90-day plan, transform parts of your business around, and move you forward. That is by application only, and there are certain criteria that we must have from yourself as a seller before we would accept you on that. And again, I can only, and the reason that it is application only, I can only do a really small number of those, because those are taking out my personal time every year. So I have got a limited number of spaces because I spend my personal time working directly with you on your business. So that is time consuming, time constraint. So I can only deal with a small number of businesses in any one year, because I want your businesses to be growing and growing and growing, and you to be making money, or going in a way that makes you money, changing your products, changing your marketplace, looking at your demographics. I need you to be being very, very successful. And the only way to do that is for me to be able to be focused and laser focused in the mentorships, in working alongside you so that we can take your business forward. If you want to talk about those, then obviously come back to me on the email, and those are separate conversations that we're not going to have here. But by all means, go and purchase the 7-module, 10-week course that will transform your business on its own. It has been an absolute pleasure to be with you tonight and to speak to you. Thank you very much for your attention, and I look forward to speaking to you on the next webinar. The next one is going to be fantastic, because we're looking at where you can go with your business within Amazon. So look out for the next email that's coming out to you, and that email will offer you the chance to come onto a webinar about Amazon. And I look forward to seeing you on the next webinar. Goodbye, folks, for now. Speak to you very soon.